The Reverso Sling is a collaboration we did with Sierratac, and one of the things with this sling is that it's meant to be, the reason we call it the Reverso is because most of the time you're usually pulling away, you're pulling away to release, and you're pulling towards the gun to tighten it up. So it's reversed because the way this one works, you're pushing towards the gun to release it, and you're pulling away from the gun to stow it. So one of the things here is, instead of having a traditional padding, we instead have a 3D spacer, which this spacer is not your normal spacer mesh. There's a lot of variants of spacer mesh. This is a high horse thing I'm on for stuff. Most spacer mesh has a knit back to it, and so what will end up happening is that knit back will retain a lot of moisture, sweat, and all the other shenanigans, and so you'll get the prickly heat because it's just digging that salt, the salt crystals, right back into you. This one is an open structure, so it's a mesh and a mesh with polyester monofilament basically strung in between it and knit in between the layers. So what that's going to do is it's completely pass-through, so it's a full shoot-through, so it doesn't retain moisture. And in my opinion, it functions a lot better. Not even necessarily for airflow, but it has a little bit of a pad to it without being that big, hot, nasty craziness. So the pad is removable from here. You just undo this and then you just yank it out. So the pad is removable, but one of the things with the Reverso Sling is the way it functions is normally there's a bar right here, and the sling operates off of that bar, so it slides back and forth there. We basically just flipped it. So your QD front end, or your front end right here, functions as that same slider. So you do actually need that to function, for the whole thing to function, which is why we sell it with the QDs, aside from it being a good quality of life. Aside from that, it's if you remove the pad, it's basically infinitely adjustable, air quotes, but you can kind of take it all the way in or all the way out. But with the sling, you obviously have this specific travel going on, so you can see how much you get with the pad. So you go from that all the way to there. So yeah. And then for here, so there's your length. That's a lot. So, one of the other things, if anyone's familiar with the old Sierratac, is this metal buckle right here. It's a lot more tactile with gloved hands, at night, under nods, all that stuff, where you just trace back until you hit that webbing, and then you just grab onto it, and it just glides back and forth. Same thing. You just big monkey paw, just grab and just go. So you're not having to fish for a little doodad on it.